The air hung crisp and cool, carrying the scent of fallen leaves and damp earth. It was Remembrance Day, a day for quiet reflection and profound gratitude. A somber atmosphere settled over the assembled crowd, a respectful hush blanketing the park where the ceremony was taking place. Banners rippled gently in the breeze, their colors muted under the gray autumn sky. Families stood shoulder to shoulder, their faces etched with a mixture of pride and sorrow. Children, too young to fully grasp the significance of the day, fidgeted quietly, their eyes wide with curiosity. Veterans, their chests adorned with medals that gleamed faintly in the subdued light, stood tall, their faces weathered by time and experience. The silence was broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves and the distant sound of traffic, a reminder of the world continuing its relentless march forward, even as the nation paused to remember those who had sacrificed everything. A sense of shared purpose and solemnity permeated the air, binding everyone together in a collective act of remembrance. The stage was set for a poignant tribute, a moment to honor the fallen and express gratitude to the living heroes who had served their country with unwavering dedication. Every head was bowed, every heart full of respect for those who gave so much. Among the assembled veterans stood Mr. Thomas Baker, a man who carried the weight of years and battles etched upon his face. His uniform, though impeccably maintained, showed its age, the fabric slightly faded but bearing the proud weight of service. His medals, a testament to his bravery and dedication, shone softly against the tweed. Each represented a story, a sacrifice, a moment of courage in the face of unimaginable adversity. Mr. Baker stood ramrod straight, his posture a testament to years of military discipline, but his hands trembled slightly, and a network of wrinkles framed his kind, blue eyes. They were eyes that had seen too much, eyes that held both the joy of victory and the sorrow of loss. He was a picture of quiet dignity, a symbol of a generation that had answered the call of duty without hesitation. He was a decorated veteran of the Second World War, having served with distinction in the infantry. He'd landed on the beaches of Normandy and fought his way across Europe, witnessing firsthand the horrors of war. He had earned every one of those medals, each a symbol of extraordinary valor under fire. Now, in his twilight years, he returned to the Remembrance Day ceremony each year to honor his fallen comrades and to remember the sacrifices made for the freedoms enjoyed today. As the bugle sounded the last post, a wave of emotion washed over Mr. Baker. The haunting melody stirred deep memories, bringing forth images of fallen comrades and the brutal realities of war. He straightened his back, his jaw clenched, determined to offer a proper salute. But his body, ravaged by time and the lingering effects of old wounds, betrayed him. He willed his right arm to rise, to perform the familiar gesture of respect and remembrance. Muscles strained, tendons protested, but the arm remained stubbornly at his side. He tried again, his face contorting with effort. A bead of sweat trickled down his temple. It was a battle against his own aging body, a struggle to honor the memory of those who had given their all. Each failed attempt brought a fresh wave of frustration. He could feel the eyes of others on him, but he refused to yield. This salute was more than just a military custom. It was a personal tribute, a heartfelt expression of gratitude and sorrow. He focused all his remaining strength on that single, defiant act, refusing to let his body fail him in this crucial moment. The weight of the years pressed down on him, but his spirit remained unbroken. Across the park, standing as still as statues, were the members of the Royal Guard. Their scarlet tunics blazed against the muted colors of the landscape, their bearskin hats casting long shadows over their impassive faces. They were the epitome of discipline and tradition, symbols of unwavering duty and loyalty. Each movement was precise, each posture perfect. They stood as a silent tribute, their presence a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of freedom. Their training was rigorous, demanding absolute obedience and unwavering focus. They were taught to suppress their emotions, to remain stoic in the face of adversity, to embody the ideals of service and sacrifice. They were the guardians of the nation's traditions, the embodiment of its military pride. They stood rigidly at attention, their eyes fixed straight ahead, seemingly oblivious to the crowd and the emotions swirling around them. But beneath those impassive masks, each guard was a human being, with his own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. They were young men, many of whom had served in active combat, who understood the true meaning of sacrifice and the importance of honoring those who had come before them. Guard stood ramrod straight, his eyes fixed on the distance, but his attention was subtly drawn to the struggle unfolding before him. He saw the elderly veteran, his face etched with determination, battling against his own body to offer a salute. He noticed the tremor in the veteran's hands, the beads of sweat on his brow, the sheer effort it took for him to simply stand at attention. A conflict arose within him. Duty demanded he maintain his position, remain an unyielding symbol of the crown. But empathy tugged at his heart, reminding him of his own grandfather, a veteran of the same war, who had instilled in him a deep respect for those who had served. He knew the rules, the protocols, the consequences of breaking formation. But he also knew the importance of honoring sacrifice, of acknowledging the debt owed to those who had defended their country. He saw the pain in the veteran's eyes, the frustration of a body failing him in his moment of remembrance. In that instant, duty and compassion collided, forcing him to make a choice. He glanced quickly at his superior officer, then back at the struggling veteran. The decision was made. With a swift, decisive movement, the guard stepped forward, breaking the rigid line of the formation. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. All eyes were now fixed on him, a mixture of shock and anticipation filling the air. The silence was profound, broken only by the mournful notes of the bugle still echoing across the park. He moved with purpose, his boots hitting the ground with a soft thud that seemed amplified in the stillness. He ignored the stares, the whispers, the potential consequences of his actions. His focus was solely on the elderly veteran, his heart filled with respect and admiration. He halted a few feet from Mr. Baker, his posture still impeccable, his gaze unwavering. He stood tall, a symbol of youthful strength and unwavering dedication, offering a silent acknowledgement of the veteran's struggle. The moment was charged with emotion, a testament to the enduring bond between generations of soldiers, a recognition of the shared sacrifices made in the name of freedom. The air crackled with unspoken words, with a profound understanding that transcended rank and protocol. Then, with a precision that belied the spontaneity of his action, the guard executed a perfect salute. His hand snapped to his brow, fingers aligned, elbow at the correct angle. The crisp, clean movement cut through the silence, a sharp counterpoint to the mournful tones of the bugle. It was a salute filled with respect, gratitude, and a deep understanding of the sacrifices made by Mr. Baker and his generation. It wasn't just a formal gesture. It was a heartfelt tribute, a recognition of the veteran's unwavering spirit and the burden he carried. It was a salute that spoke volumes, conveying a message of solidarity and appreciation that transcended words. The sound of his gloved hand meeting his forehead echoed in the quiet air. In that single, perfect salute, the guard embodied the values of service, sacrifice, and respect for those who had served before him. He was not just a symbol of the crown, but a human being acknowledging the shared experience of soldiers across generations. The salute was a powerful statement, a testament to the enduring bond between those who had answered the call of duty. A wave of emotion washed over Mr. Baker. He blinked back tears that threatened to spill down his weathered cheeks. The guard's salute was more than just a gesture. It was a validation of his service, a recognition of his sacrifice, a symbol of the enduring bond between generations of soldiers. A faint smile touched his lips, a silent acknowledgement of the guard's extraordinary act of respect. He straightened his back as much as his aging body would allow, and though he still couldn't raise his arm in a full salute, he managed a slight nod of his head, a gesture that spoke volumes. In that moment, the weight of years seemed to lift from his shoulders. The pain in his joints lessened, and the memories of war faded slightly, replaced by a feeling of profound peace and gratitude. He was no longer just an old veteran struggling to perform a simple salute. He was a symbol of courage, resilience, and the enduring spirit of a generation that had saved the world. The guard's salute had not only honored him but had also restored a piece of his soul. A hush fell over the crowd as they witnessed the exchange between the veteran and the guard. Tears streamed down the faces of many, young and old alike, touched by the raw emotion and the profound respect displayed. A collective feeling of gratitude washed over them, a shared understanding of the sacrifices made by those who had served. Some whispered words of thanks, others simply stood in silent reverence, their hearts full of admiration. Parents squeezed their children's hands, wanting them to understand the significance of the moment, to remember the sacrifices made for their freedom. The crowd's reaction was a testament to the power of human connection, a reminder that even in a world often divided by conflict and disagreement, there were moments of unity and shared purpose that could transcend all boundaries. The guard's simple act of kindness had sparked a wave of empathy and appreciation, creating a ripple effect that touched every heart in the park. It was a moment that would be etched in their memories forever, a reminder of the true meaning of Remembrance Day. With the same precision and composure that marked his departure, the guard turned and returned to his position in the formation. His movements were seamless, as if he had never left, yet everything had changed. He rejoined the line, standing shoulder to shoulder with his comrades, but the air around him now crackled with a different kind of energy. He stood tall once more, his face impassive, his gaze fixed straight ahead. But inside he was different. He had acted on his convictions, had followed his heart, and had shown the world that duty and compassion could coexist. He had risked his career, perhaps, but he had also honored something far more important: the enduring spirit of those who had served. He knew there would be consequences for his actions, questions to answer, protocols to explain. But he also knew that he had done the right thing, that he had honored the memory of those who had fallen and had shown respect to a veteran who deserved it. As the ceremony continued, he stood with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that he had played a small but significant part in a moment that would be remembered for years to come. The Remembrance Day ceremony continued, but the atmosphere had been irrevocably altered. The remaining tributes, the laying of wreaths, and the recitation of poems all carried a deeper resonance, amplified by the profound moment that had just transpired. The collective act of remembrance felt more personal, more heartfelt, more meaningful. The names of the fallen were read aloud, each one a life cut short, a sacrifice made in the name of freedom. The crowd listened with rapt attention, their hearts filled with gratitude and sorrow. The piper played a mournful lament, his music weaving a tapestry of grief and remembrance that echoed across the park. The sun, which had been hidden behind a veil of clouds, finally broke through, casting a golden light upon the scene. It was as if the heavens themselves were acknowledging the significance of the moment, offering a benediction upon the veteran, the guard, and all those who had gathered to pay their respects. The ceremony concluded with a sense of hope and unity, a shared commitment to never forget the sacrifices made for the freedoms they enjoyed. The impact of one guard's actions lingered. The incident sparked a renewed discussion about the true meaning of duty, respect, and sacrifice. Was duty simply blind obedience to orders, or could it also encompass acts of compassion and empathy? Was respect solely a matter of adhering to protocol, or could it be expressed through spontaneous gestures of kindness and understanding? The guard's actions challenged the traditional notions of military service, suggesting that true strength lay not only in physical prowess and unwavering discipline, but also in the ability to recognize and respond to the human needs of others. His decision to break formation was not an act of defiance but an act of profound respect, a recognition that sometimes the greatest honor one can bestow is a simple gesture of human connection. It highlighted the complexities of military life, the constant tension between following orders and exercising individual judgment. It prompted reflection on the values that truly mattered: loyalty, courage, sacrifice, and the enduring bond between those who had served their country. The act showed that sometimes the most powerful statements are not made with words, but with actions that speak directly to the heart. Mr. Baker's mind drifted back to a cold, muddy trench in France, the air thick with the acrid smell of gunpowder and the constant threat of enemy fire. He was just a young man then, barely out of his teens, but he was tasked with a responsibility far beyond his years. He remembered the fear, the exhaustion, and the camaraderie that bound him and his fellow soldiers together. He recalled a specific moment, a desperate charge across open ground, under a hail of bullets. He saw a comrade fall, wounded and helpless. Without hesitation, Mr. Baker had risked his own life to drag him to safety, earning him one of the medals that now adorned his chest. He hadn't thought of himself as a hero then, just a soldier doing what needed to be done. But looking back, he understood the significance of his actions, the selflessness that had driven him to put his own life on the line for another. The memory served as a reminder of the true cost of freedom, the sacrifices made by ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. And it deepened his appreciation for the Guards' act of kindness, a recognition of the shared bond between soldiers, past and present. Remembrance Day is more than just a day off or a chance to wear a poppy. It's a solemn responsibility, a sacred duty to remember and honor the sacrifices made by those who have served. It's a time to reflect on the true cost of freedom and to appreciate the peace and security that we often take for granted. It is up to younger generations to carry the torch of remembrance, to ensure that the stories of veterans like Mr. Baker are never forgotten. It's about teaching children the importance of gratitude, respect, and service to others. It's about visiting war memorials, reading history books, and listening to the first-hand accounts of those who have experienced conflict. It's about understanding that freedom is not free, that it comes at a great price, paid in blood and sacrifice. And it's about making a commitment to uphold the values that these brave men and women fought to defend: democracy, justice, and the rule of law. Remembrance Day is a call to action, a reminder that we all have a role to play in preserving peace and preventing future conflicts. We must keep their stories alive. The Guard's name was Private James Harrison. He came from a long line of military men, his father and grandfather both having served with distinction. From a young age, he had been taught the values of duty, honor, and service to his country. He knew the history of his nation, the sacrifices made by generations past, and the importance of upholding the traditions that had shaped his identity. His training as a Royal Guard had been rigorous, demanding absolute obedience and unwavering focus. But it had also instilled in him a deep sense of pride and a commitment to upholding the highest standards of conduct. He understood the symbolic importance of his role, the responsibility he carried to represent the best of his nation's values. He had also served a tour of duty overseas, witnessing firsthand the realities of conflict and the sacrifices made by his fellow soldiers. He had seen the best and worst of humanity, the courage and compassion that could emerge even in the darkest of times. These experiences had shaped his perspective, deepening his understanding of the true meaning of service and the importance of honoring those who had come before him. It was this background that informed his decision. The Guard's act resonated far beyond the park. News of his actions spread like wildfire, carried by social media, news outlets, and word of mouth. Some hailed him as a hero, praising his compassion and his willingness to defy protocol in the name of respect. Others criticized him for breaking formation, arguing that discipline and obedience were paramount. But regardless of their opinions, everyone agreed that the Guard's actions had sparked a vital conversation about the values that truly mattered. It was a reminder that even in a world often defined by division and conflict, acts of kindness and empathy could transcend all boundaries and unite people in a shared sense of purpose. The story served as an inspiration to others, encouraging them to look for opportunities to show respect and gratitude to veterans, and to honor the sacrifices made by those who had served their country. It demonstrated the power of a single act of kindness to ripple outwards, creating a wave of positive change and reminding everyone of the importance of human connection. It showed the value of simple, heartfelt action. As the ceremony drew to a close, Mr. Baker approached Private Harrison. There was a subtle exchange of glances, a silent understanding that passed between them. Mr. Baker offered a warm, grateful smile, and Private Harrison returned a respectful nod. No words were necessary. Their shared experience had forged a bond that transcended rank and age. Mr. Baker left the park with a lighter step, his heart filled with peace and gratitude. The pain in his joints seemed to have eased, and the memories of war no longer weighed so heavily on his soul. He carried with him the knowledge that his service had been honored, his sacrifices recognized, and his spirit uplifted by the simple act of kindness from a young royal guard. Private Harrison continued his duties, standing tall and proud, knowing that he had made a difference, that he had touched the lives of others, and that he had upheld the values he held dear. He carried with him the memory of Mr. Baker's grateful smile, a reminder that even the smallest acts of compassion can have a profound impact on the world. The memory would stay with them both. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the park. The flags fluttered gently in the breeze, a silent salute to the fallen. The air grew cooler, carrying the scent of damp earth and fallen leaves. The park was emptying now, the crowd dispersing, carrying with them the memories of the day. But even as they went their separate ways, the spirit of remembrance lingered. The memory of Mr. Baker's struggle and Private Harrison's act of kindness remained etched in their minds, a reminder of the enduring values of courage, sacrifice, and respect. The image of the elderly veteran and the young guard, connected by a shared understanding that transcended words, would serve as an inspiration for years to come, a symbol of hope and unity in a world often divided by conflict and disagreement. It was a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a profound impact, that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit can triumph. And it would stay with them all, a beacon of light in the darkness. The spirit of remembrance must live on, not just on one day of the year, but every day. We must teach our children about the sacrifices made by those who came before them, about the importance of honoring veterans and upholding the values they fought to defend. We must support our veterans, providing them with the resources they need to thrive, ensuring that they receive the care and respect they deserve. We must listen to their stories, learn from their experiences, and never forget the lessons of history. We must work towards a future where peace prevails, where conflicts are resolved through diplomacy and understanding, and where the sacrifices of past generations are never repeated. We must be vigilant in defending our freedoms, upholding the rule of law, and promoting justice and equality for all. The spirit of remembrance is a call to action, a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a better world. This responsibility falls to us all. The elderly veteran and the young royal guard stood for a moment, almost as if frozen in time, their eyes meeting in a silent acknowledgement of shared understanding and mutual respect. It was a subtle exchange, a fleeting connection, but it spoke volumes. Mr. Baker saw in Private Harrison the embodiment of a new generation, a generation that understood the importance of service, sacrifice, and the enduring values that had shaped their nation. He saw hope for the future, a reassurance that the sacrifices of the past would not be forgotten. Private Harrison saw in Mr. Baker a living testament to the courage and resilience of those who had come before him, a reminder of the debt owed to those who had defended their country. He saw the weight of years etched upon the veteran's face, the burden of memories carried with grace and dignity. Their silent exchange was a powerful image, a symbol of unity and understanding that transcended age, rank, and protocol. It was a moment that captured the true spirit of Remembrance Day, a reminder of the enduring bond between generations of soldiers, and a testament to the power of human connection. Let us leave here today with a renewed sense of purpose, a commitment to honoring our veterans and preserving the memory of their service. Let us remember the sacrifices made by those who came before us, the courage they displayed, and the values they fought to defend. Let us strive to create a world where peace prevails, where conflicts are resolved through diplomacy and understanding, and where the human spirit triumphs over adversity. Let us teach our children the importance of gratitude, respect, and service to others, so that they may carry the torch of remembrance into the future. Let us never forget the lessons of history, the price of freedom, and the enduring bond that connects us all. And let us always remember the power of a single act of kindness, the ability of one person to make a difference in the world. For in the end, it is through our shared humanity that we can truly honor those who have served and build a brighter future for all. May we never forget their sacrifice.